till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money, your home of non-stop gambling action. Here we go. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. You know you can find us here doing what we do, and that is the last look of the card, trying to cook the books, giving you guys all kinds of information, angles, trends, analysis, line updates, cash flow splits, injuries, whatever you need to hear to find confidence in making informed gambling decisions. That's what we're here to do, and we're joined by the best damn chat in the business to do it. So you've come to the right spot to get that cash. Hope everyone's had a nice Monday. Going to be a fun card tonight. We've got all kinds of sports in play. I don't know why, but every game in the NBA starts at 8. So we got some NBA action. We've got a college hoops look. We've got NFL Monday Night Football. And you know, we're running back with the 2-touchdown parlay prop. I think we swept the board last week, 2-0 on the primetime games. And I got to look back at the notes, but I think we're 9-1 in our last 10, which is absurd. But we're going to run that thing back. And of course, we've got some hockey plays galore. Afternoon hockey out there. So, listen, the over was free money. It was as free gets. And we're here to get that cash tonight. So I appreciate you guys coming in. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way in the door. Here we are, Monday, November 11th already. Just a little bit of time away from Thanksgiving. Then we get into that full holiday season, but all the sports are going to be rolling. We're going to have plenty of bankroll to cover our holiday expenses. Man, what a fun weekend we had out there. I'll tell you what, it started with Friday. It rolled into Saturday. Man, that UFC stream continues to pay dividends. Hopefully you guys are checking that show out. I know a bunch of you guys are. I see your names out there. See you guys popping in. Woo, we caught fire early. I think it was 5 of 6 to start the fight card off. All plus money spots by your boy here. And you don't get much better than that unless you close the Sunday Night Football card with the same game parlay that paid 42-1. Yes, I did. So much fun. Dialed in. I'll tell you guys what. This much of an adjustment across my prop models, and things are starting to fly in like crazy. So I'm excited to cover that. Man, Cole Caulfield goal today. Anytime goal at plus 265 live. Yep. Models running hot. Fired up to share that with you guys. And I got a 2-spot player prop parlay that we're going to open the card up with. 2 spots. It's a little bit of a layered approach, but we're very specific in the way that we attack these things, much as we were on Friday. And it's time to get to work, you guys. Appreciate everybody that comes in here and supports us on the regular. Shout out to my man, Ramon Scott. I love the contest he's got rolling out there with the morning steam. If you missed it this morning, don't be sleeping on the morning steam. You got to get in there, make a comment. And then what they're doing is compiling the consensus plays from the chat, from the group of the morning steam, the chat all-stars. And they're putting a parlay together. And Ramon's covering the parlay. And they pick a winner to get the cash if the parlay is a winner. So shout out to Justin McKelvey, because my guy did get the first go round out there. He is on the board. So if they cash that parlay tonight, Justin will be in the black with that thing. What a great idea. What a bunch of fun. And stay tuned, because we've got more things coming here. All I'm going to say is this. Quiz section on the YouTube page. Yeah, there's a quiz section. It's in the community tab. It's in the community tab. We're going to further build out our community tab. And what an excellent addition we had. If you guys missed it on Sunday, we had to get my guy to come off the goods. You know, we all talk about this stuff here, right? He talked about it today on the show. Tools and technology are our friends. We use them to help further gain confidence in our betting decisions, and they're not free. That's for sure. But that's why you guys come here, because we've gotten them all together. We added on Sunday the NFL consensus report, and what a day Sunday had. If you guys aren't following it, first of all, get your asses out there and thumbs up those community tab pages, because we missed our goal, sadly, for the afternoon and evening action yesterday. But need you guys to hit those support buttons out there for us. And it takes time to put these consensus reports together, compile it, move it on over, get it on the page for you guys, post it out there so everyone knows it's there. But what a day the NFL had with the handicapper consensus report. It was on fire. And hopefully you guys got a chance to see that. And we'll continue to bring you guys more information like that. Nobody does it better than the way Sports Money's doing this thing today. And it's leading to flush bankrolls. I know you guys are saying the same thing. I see your tickets. I see your winners. I love the back and forth here and all about what's going on. Let's talk about what went on Friday. Then we will get to the show, and we will get everybody up out of here to get them bets placed and enjoy their Monday nights. And sadly, we did not cover in the NHL. The Red Wings lost plus 165, and then Vegas lost at minus 135. Now, it's important to know when we talk about some of these games, specifically the Vegas situation, what I tell you guys, Vegas is shooting the puck fewer than almost anybody else in the NHL. Not scoring, shooting less than just about everybody else in the NHL. It's not a sustainable model for success. Now, they lost that game against the Kraken on Friday 4-3. But again, shooting continues to be their nemesis, their arch enemy. Let me tell you, that's not going to work against Carolina, who's looking to rebound off a tough loss with a high-scoring bonanza that goes on out there against Colorado Avalanche the other day. So, food for thought. But Weber State got blasted. They got their pants pulled down and their bottoms smacked. Oregon State crushed them. College of Charleston, never in doubt. Bama? Let's pay attention to what Bama does tonight. No official play on this Bama spot tonight. I lean that way with the 17.5 points, but there might be a little bit of an overestimation from the Vegas books on what some of these SEC teams are doing in college basketball. So we'll keep our eyes on it. We moved to college football. We had a little mini sweep. Rice plus 7.5. We got the hook, baby. The hook. Win by the hook, lose by the hook, but it all works out, I think, in the end. Friday, we won by the hook. Nailed this one. Split hog this one. New Mexico plus 8.5 wins outright. The under 72.5. Would they get to 20 points? Maybe. Then, how about this? I know a lot of you guys didn't like this one. I know this was not a fan favorite. Steph Curry under 24.5 points. What did he get, 12? 12 points? Told y'all. The Klay Thompson change. Pay attention to the lineup. Now, he did go over 23.5 yesterday, but that tells me the books are starting to recognize and make that adjustment. We were just a little ahead of the curve. That was plus 110. How about this one? Cade Cunningham triple-double. Remember, we didn't do a player prop parlay on Friday because we wanted to go and attack these individually. We hit this one at plus 1.1 units. Then we come over here and we're free rolling to try to get 11 units. We picked up 12.1 units just simply on those two NBA player I'll tell you, don't let these guys make it look harder than it is. Now, granted, we did not get this under 228.5. That one sucked because it dragged me in on a money pit for a live bet as well. And we didn't get Indiana. But we did cash the Suns. And it was a profitable day. Friday was a good day. That moved us into the weekend to stack that bankroll. So today, can we do it again? We've got action. It's ready to get going. It's ready to share with you guys. You know what we need. Your help with that thumbs up button. Kind of, let's just say across the board, right? You guys can take the time to go into that community tab and hit that thumbs up button. How about this? I believe the community tab record is now 16-5-1 on primetime posted spots. So you guys are coming in there. Man, we had, I wasn't even counting the UFC. We had, Joe T, I wish I could remember the number. What do we have, 165 comments for that main event. Overwhelming consensus. 90% of that 165 said that final event in the UFC was going to be a knockout. And that was probably the easiest money to be made. So make sure you guys do check that out. I know the polls are up there for tonight. And we'll do it again this weekend. What a big game we're going to have Thursday with the NFL. The Eagles, the Commanders, number 1 and number 2 in the NFC East. And then there's really a gap between everybody else. So make sure you guys are checking out all of those tools that we have in place for you guys. Want to just help share what some of these winning strategies are. And you guys are firing. I say it all the time, the best damn chat in the business. All we ask is just a little bit of help. A little bit of help by way of closing that comment section down. Hit that thumbs up. Pop the comment section back open, and then we can get going. That thumbs up. A little guy that looks like this. Help us out. Yeah, you guys did a great job this weekend with it as well. We had over 75 thumbs up on Saturday. I think we were around that number on Friday as well. So really do appreciate those of you that do take the time. And I'll take the time to recognize that, yeah, we are listener supported. We've got 3 different levels to the membership that's out there. And look, if we don't catch our goals, if we don't catch those like goals when we post the free plays, then, secondary tiers, the silver and gold members will be eligible for those plays. So I know a bunch of you guys are seeing them. I see the metrics. We got a couple hundred views on these things. Then we get 9 thumbs up. Not going to cut it. Not going to cut it, but that's okay. Because if you do get the silver or gold level memberships, then you will certainly catch those plays as we release them. And I'll be releasing a same game parlay tonight. Yeah. What do you mean? 42-1 last night? I'm coming back at it. I got it already fired up. I just got to kind of pull the final trigger. What the best part about that, it had no sides. It had no totals in it. It was just straight player props. There were 6 of them. And the last play I needed was 11 plus yards from, it was a total of 60 plus yards from, not Laporta, Amon St. Brown. And he catches it on that final drive, 11 on the head, got to that 60, good cash. I don't know if we'll have 6 legs tonight, but we'll have it. It'll be ready to go for you guys. So stay tuned. But until then, we got to get to work. Lots to play around with tonight. And again, I'm fired up to share this parlay with you guys. 2 legs of it. Well, there's 5 legs of it, but it's in 2 phases. So we'll get there. But first and foremost, get that pen and paper ready. You know the deal here. They share their best plays right now. Angles, trends, analysis, future look-aheads, future scheduling spots, circle dates, everything you're going to need. You're going to want to take them notes and write this down for a full night of action going forward. And make sure you guys do put your plays in the chat so we can talk about it. And our number 1 commenter, 99.35% first comment ratio. Joe T, with his F-year under, his war on unders continues. And he's got a Matt Stafford over a half of interception tonight. Interesting spot there from Joe T. It's a minus 105, so it's reasonable juice if you believe in Matty Stafford throwing a pick. Shout out to Justin McCalvey. He says, sports money is money. Love starting to show off with that, man. Thank you. And congrats. Hopefully your consensus parlay wins. Excited to see if that gets through for you. First go round with it. Joe T says the Rams smash. Do they smash in the first quarter, first half full game? Do they smash in the second quarter? I'm curious, Joe T. Where are they smashing tonight? Share it with us. And there we go. Had to sprinkle an OBJ touchdown at plus 500 from Brandon the Great. Brandon the Great coming in there with his OBJ touchdown. He almost made the cut. He almost made the spot for me, Brandon the Great, but that's a great price. Love that number. Here we go. Redbeard's in the house. Says Cooper Kupp, first touchdown, plus 700. Jalen Waddle, anytime touchdown, plus 160. Dolphins, plus 2.5. And the over 46.5 is plus 220 as well. Some great plus money looks from Redbeard. Here we go. Young native Tino, 64. Do I bet Garland 19 points or Mitchell plus 25 plus? Can the chat help him out? Can the chat help out my guy, young native Tino? Young native Tino, I would lean Mitchell, 25 points. I would lean Mitchell for 25 points in that thing. But good luck to you. Hopefully the chat will fill it in. Redbeard says Florida teams can't go 0-12 this week. Is that a question mark or an exclamation point, Redbeard? I think you got the exclamation point on it. Shout out to NJ Striker. Says, let's get that cash, brother. There's my dude, Joe W. And we got the Futon bets in the house. Garland, first basket scored. Sup, buddy? Let's get this cash. Let's go, dude. Let's go. Got to take advantage of those props. I tried to do that this weekend with the triple, or not the triple double, the first touchdown score, or the first basket scores, the shot on goal props as well. We'll keep looking for those. I think that's where I'll channel those over to the community tab, so we can share with you guys at least what our looks are for those things. And let's love to see what you guys have as well. So toss the comments out there when you do see those plays on the community tab. There's my guy Keith. He was part of the big Saturday extravaganza. He's got Kyron Williams and Tyreek Hill touchdown parlay at plus 236 for our guy Keith. Shout out to David Wallace and Markel in the house. And Nasty Nate, a.k.a. the mechanic, a.k.a. the wrench. Telling you guys to hit that like button. Please do so. Please don't get Nasty Nate capped up about not hitting that thumbs up button. Take that second to do so if you haven't done so already. Chris Ellis says, good day to all the vet D-gens, of course. Happy Veterans Day to everybody out there. Thank you for your service. David Wallace likes the Rams today. Oldies. Giving the old Stacks shout out there. Says sports money is money. Shout out to AOD. Appreciate you. I'll paraphrase. I'll just highlight the thank you. Thank you. Shout out to my guy Jay Peasy's in the house. Got to see Jay Peasy earlier today. Hope he's doing well. Tarek B says, man, whoever's not hopping on the UFC stream is missing out, dude. Crazy. It's crazy. It was such a big one. There was a big parlay that not a parlay. There was a big player prop I was trying to take. So I went into a new book and I popped in. I just literally, it was 3 fights. I was like, you know what? This one's got a really great line for a really big swing. I was like, let me just toss in a quick $25 play. It wasn't one of my favorite bets or anything like that. I just wanted to capture the line. 3 fights later, I'm cashing out over $500 on those guys there. It felt great. Quick turnarounds, man. Obviously, DraftKings is the primary recipient of my beatdowns, but that was fun to bring a new book into the fold. Shout out to AOD says, I almost forgot to smash the like button. Oh, jeez, man. You smashed that like button. Or Subhuman Gaucho will come in there and wreak havoc on everybody out there. His name is Sub. He's here. He's part of this thing. Let's go, my guy. Appreciate you guys. AOD says Sports Money Network, Subhuman Gaucho Island. Shout out to Gonzo. It's fucking, yes, he is. David Delps, a sup, guys. How was the Saturday UFC? What a great show. Doesn't remember. Maybe he doesn't remember. Let's go. Appreciate you guys, man. Let's get into it. Let's get going. AOD likes that Stafford over a half of an interception. Shout out to Trisha M. Shout out to Big Scott. Says, let's have a great start to the week. Plays I'm on. Avs -1. Mishkov over a half a point at -113. Over a half a goal at plus 250. And the Hurricanes money line. Gene's in the house. Great to see Gene in here. Likes the Kings money line. The Kings puck line. The Predators Avs over 6.5. Shout out to Kush God. There's Turnsey. How do you feel about Nashville tonight? I love Nashville tonight. I love Nashville and I love the over tonight. I don't know about love Nashville. That might be a strong word. But I do love the over. Oh, you know what I do? I'll tell you what I think about that over. Impromptu. It's going to be a struggle to get to the over, but it's not going to be Nashville that struggles to get to the over, which to me means Nashville goes out there and smacks them boys up. Turns cashed Montreal this afternoon as a big dog, looking at Calgary money line and Nashville money line tonight for my guy Turnsey. Appreciate sharing that with us. I got a big dog for you in the NHL. Let's go. That stinks. I had Montgomery as actually, I think Montgomery was in there as a touchdown scorer for me on that parlay that was out there. Let's go, Kush God. Robert McCormick's in the house. Kelly V's here. Appreciate Kelly V coming in. She likes the looks from Gene. Says Kings, Kempe, or Kopitar added. Going to be fun night tonight. We got a great card. You know, it's a nice little rounded card. Plenty of opportunities in every sport. So let's go. There we go. Joe T says full game. Okay. Every parts of the game. I messaged Joe T earlier. I said, I got a Joe T parlay. He said, what is it? I said, every game on the board over. Every single one of them. Hopefully you did take that 4-legger I gave you, Joe T. Brandon the Great's got Ramsey interception. Shout out to Flea Mathis. No NHL plays yet for Gonzo, but he's watching the Vegas line. Might be on the Knights later. My guy's got a great NHL model that's been firing for him. Trisha M's watching the crypto account rise. I wish I knew more about the cryptocurrencies. KV likes the under in Calgary. Over 6 in Colorado. Gorgiev is trash. Excellent. That's an excellent breakdown. He is a piece of garbage. And here's Ramon. This is Justin, the consensus free play winner. This were the consensus plays from Ramon Scott's The Morning Steam today. They go around the chat. He's got a partner in crime that kind of aggregates it all out there. And they got the Rams under 49. They got the Nets. They got the Cavs at -8. And there you go. Good stuff. Make sure you guys check him out again tomorrow morning. He'll be doing it again. All you got to do is put a comment in the chat. His system will capture your name, put you in the, well, I guess it's the randomizer, and pick out who it is that's going to get that cash should they win. So let's go. Look at that. Redbeard just cashed out Long Island over Air Force. That was a nice little hit. Nice job there, Redbeard. KV says under in the Spurs too. Series over, but total comes out low. Line reads under. Here we go. These are some updates that we need. Tyreek Hill catching the ball during warm-up, says Ramon Scott. Looks pretty good to go out there for now. Awaiting the official word. We know that he is questionable. Still questionable, which is kind of crazy, but I bet you he goes. I'm thinking he goes. KV says 2 goals each in regulation, Nashville, Colorado on a parlay. Wow. Might have been overserved is what Nasty Nate is trying to say. I like saying that because it's, I used to hate when it doesn't matter. I used to work with somebody that would say it all the time and I was like, it sounds ridiculous. Now I say it because I'm serving myself. Googly-eyed UFC ring girl sending love to the pimp slap. Enjoyed some margs and got a little tipsy today, but found out my cat has, oh man, anemia and got into some Reese's. Oh no. That's no good. Jerry Davis said, bet $2 on every over in college basketball line between 143 and foot. Yeah. Yeah, so you probably got that same 12 spot that I was looking at, Jerry Davis. I think it was 12 teams. And then Nasty Nate says, how is the chat member chosen? I believe he makes a comment. Or you make a comment, and then his system grabs the people that made the comments from the chat and they randomize it. And at the end, they pick the person that will be the winner or the recipient should the parlay win. Ramon says, breaking news. Tyreek Hill, listed as questionable for tonight's game versus the Rams due to a wrist injury, is officially active. There you go. Now watch this line not move. You guys know the deal. You shouldn't let those things factor into your. Hill hasn't done shit, anyways, right, Ramon? Come on, has he done? He has not been. There was one game in the second half where they came in. It was like 4 or 5 games ago, and they come into the locker room and they're losing, and Tua gives some. It was before Tua went fucking Swiss cheesehead too, so it had to be before that Bills game. And he comes in and he gives some speech, and Tyreek Hill comes in that second half and pops like an 85-yarder for a touchdown. That's the last time we've seen Tyreek Hill do anything out there. But anyways, I digress. Shout out to my guy, Old E. He's popping us off. He's blessing the card. Now we can get going. 5 gifted sports money memberships from my dude. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, Old E. Such a real one. Love having you as a supporter. I saw you gifting this morning with Ramon Scott as well. Thank you. Helping us build this community, you guys. When we go members only, you can thank guys like Old E if you got gifted a sports money membership. I was debating something on Friday. I don't know, you guys, maybe we'll put up a poll. Maybe Joe T and I can work on a poll to see if you guys would be so interested. You know what Friday is, right? It's the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. You know we're a combat stream. We love it. We love getting that cash out there. Maybe we do something like that. So we'll see. Stay tuned. Brandon the Great says, I'm only playing big plus money tonight. No Kyrie minus 240. Johnny should be live without Kyrie. Michael Lester's giving Old E the shout out. Okay. We've done enough butt rubbing, as they say. It's time to get to work. Let's start this thing off. I told you it was a 2-layered process for this card tonight. Now, you could opt to take that first piece and individually play them as well. It reads off as James Harden with a double-double and Nick Claxton with a double-double. We can talk about it. Sure. Nick Claxton, you know what? Bottom line, we look for these guys that are around 9.5 for their marks, and his rebounding mark is 9.5. Ben Simmons, only guy near him on the betting line at 6.5. Probably shouldn't be that much of a factor. I'm just not a Ben Simmons fan. But I know Claxton averages 10 or more points a game, and he's got a rebounding line of 9.5. That's double-double city at plus 150. Maybe catch a little higher. Maybe it's dropped just a touch. Player number 2 in that process, well, yeah, it's James Harden. James Harden's on a tear when it comes to the double-doubles in his particular spot. And what we know about this Clippers game. We talked about James Harden the other day and how he needs to be the guy that puts on the show for us. We know we got no Chet. Everyone's been talking about no Chet Holmgren. And the pace of play is going to slow way down. We know the Clippers are an under team. We know the Clippers struggle at home, but perfect on the road. James Harden, double-double, 8 of the last 11 Clippers games out there. Now that's around a plus 105. So I smashed those two together to get plus 365. Then I went a little creative. We added Vucevic to get over 1.5 3-pointers tonight. Nice plus price tag on that. And this is just a momentum spot for this guy. We know 3-pointers galore. We know the deal out there. Thanks to young Steph Curry. Not young Steph Curry anymore, struggling to get to his point line, but this is a metrics game. Vuce is attempting 43 3-pointers this season. This is an average spot. We just need him to hit 2. And of, any of the games, look at the line on this game. It's the highest of all. So you got a guy that's hitting the number on average. He's getting the amount of attempts. We just need him to get 2 in a game that's lined with the largest total on the board tonight. Sign me up for some Vuce action. Then we go to Robertson. Shots on goal for the Dallas Stars. Over 2.5 shots on goal. Another metrics opportunity. I'll put the numbers together for you guys so you don't have to. 35 shots on goal on the season. He's gotten over 2.5, 6 games this season. And look at the price tag on that one. It's juiced at minus 130s, even 135s I started seeing out there. So reality says, probably going to hit that thing. He's been doing it, and doing it right. So we're going to take him. We're going to add him in that Pittsburgh-Dallas game to the equation. And then the last one. You guys talked about it in the chat. Jonnu Smith. I'm taking some Jonnu Smith. If you remember the prop shop that we did, I know it's been a couple of weeks at this point now, unfortunately, but I'm not sure what we're going to get from Tyreek Hill. Obviously, I like Waddle, but when I broke this game down, when I broke Jonnu Smith down 2 games ago, what I found was he's number 3 on the team in receptions. The amount of passing goes up and through the roof when Tua Tagovailoa plays in the game. They become a passing team, unlike when they had Skylar Thompson in there and anybody else that wants to try to go back out there. And, you look at the LA Rams, 3rd most ineffective team against the tight end this season. Jonnu's got 4 more receptions in each of the past 4 games, 6 in each of those games overall. So his usage is going up. Why? Because Tua's back and they become a passing team. You got inconsistency out of Tyreek Hill. I do like Waddle. We'll talk about him in a few minutes. But at the end of the day, this guy's literally just, I think it was 2 catches below Tyreek Hill. He might have even surpassed him at this point on the season, which just says something because you got a $90 million guy in Tyreek Hill, and yet you got Jonnu Smith who catches long balls. He's not just catching the little 3-yard dish out. He's got a 15-yarder, a 12-yarder, an 18-yarder, and a 17-yarder on the season. All we need for this guy to do is get over 35.5 receiving yards. Slight juiced at minus 114s, minus 115s. But pay attention to how you click on some of these, because if you take Robertson at 3+ shots on goal, it's juicier than if you take him at over 2.5 shots on goal. So just pay attention to some of those lines when you click on this thing. You pop all 5 of those together, it's 37.89 is that parlay. 37.89. So just under 38 to 1 for those 5 legs. And you do the smart, grab Claxton. You know, if you're looking at how to maybe leverage this thing across the board, hey, maybe you throw a unit on Claxton. You throw a half a unit on Harden. You throw a half a unit on these guys as a whole, or even a quarter unit and then a quarter unit with the full. Like, just think about how you want to break that up. You know, I know we talk about that a little bit in the UFC. Try not to give out 10th of a unit plays and shit like that, but, you know, this is where my money goes. This is how I try to break these things down, you know, and it's just like we showed with that triple-double with Cade Cunningham. We try to make sure that we get our money first and create a free roll. And if you use the Claxton double-double first and foremost, the way you should break that unit down is to get yourself free rolls across the rest of the way. So we can talk about that stuff if you guys have interest in learning betting strategy. Like, a lot of guys struggle with, you know, the volume. They're like, hey, you know, I love Ramon. I know he's a volume guy. Our crew's volume crew. We want to have action, but, you know, there's some spots that we do like more than others. And it's all about winning, keeping that bankroll intact first, and then trying for those free rolls. So middling days at 500 are frustrating, but if you had the shot to catch a 15 to 1 or a 38 to 1, if you guys are interested, we can talk more about betting strategy on some of these things down the road. I've told you before, you know, when I try to look at things that are you know, I got a touchdown prop I like tonight. He's like plus 2,500, plus 3,000. Yeah, I'm not going to have a full unit on that. It's not going to be, you know, the first touchdown props when you catch a guy that's plus 10,000, it's not going to be a full unit. It's just crazy. It's crazy. There's too many fucking variables that come into that situation, but you can have fun. You can use it. I know C-Mac talks about it, right? If you drop a 50 spot on something, that can really push the needle up for you. And, you know, you catch a 22 to 1 at $50 play, you just made, you know, 11 units ultimately overall, if you think about $100 kind of being the unit size. So, KV, she says, I need to round robin more often. Small unit better. Yeah. Hey, who was it last week that was talking about round robining those player props? And, you know, we hit 4 or 5, you're making money. Just some different ways to, you know, what do they say? Many ways to skin the cat. Probably not a good expression, but whatever. We said it. We dropped it out there. Let's go. Onward. Let's get to this card. Let's get through this action and get you guys rolling here tonight. But I'm excited about that parlay. Like I said, there's a lot of ways to break down any one of them. You know, look for those bigger price tags, right? Some guys were crazy. Oh, you know, Steph Curry under 24.5 points. Well, it's plus 110. He's been nailing the number. And then we take that shot with Cade Cunningham, and we crushed it, smacked it. Speaking of smacking it, I smacked the San Jose Sharks team yesterday. Big, easy win. Well, I don't know if I would say easy winner, but it was a winner. It was a winner nonetheless. And it was a big winner because it was plus 120 on the money line. I think it was plus 265 or 285. I'm sorry, 285 on the money line and plus 120 on the puck line. But today's a new day. We've got new action in play. We've got Vitek Vanacek that will be going in the pipes for the San Jose Sharks. I don't know how I want to describe this guy. Look, Mackenzie Blackwood was a former New Jersey Devil. So getting him in his rematch against his former team made a ton of sense. He gets 44 saves. They got peppered, and he crushed it. Now they're going to this guy. He's got a 3.32 goals against average. He's got an 89.8% save percentage, but he's got plenty of sample. He's got 8 games in that mix. It's not like he just had 1 or 2 games and he got busted up like a beach ball. Then speaking of getting busted up, here's this Philadelphia Flyers team. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. 1, 2, and 1. Tough road trip down south for them in Florida. Now, they did beat Tampa. That was a weird number. The minus 1.5 that was losing value for Tampa. And then Florida. I don't know. On the flip side, though, Sammy Ersson, the savior of the goaltending twine for the Philadelphia Flyers, will be in net tonight. And he's 4-2-2 on the season. He's definitely the best staple, the best guy in the stable. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. But a 269 goals against average is a 90.2% save percentage. And look, had a little bit of an injury. Got a little dinged up. Comes back out there Saturday, makes 28 saves on 31 shots. That was unfortunately not good enough to win the game. And I'm laughing because, God damn, at some point my Flyers just got to fucking bite the bullet, take a bunch of L's, and get some decent fucking draft picks. It's enough already. Yeah. Choosing my words carefully with this nonsense here. And you got a huge favorite now. Why? Because it's the second end of a back-to-back for the San Jose Sharks? Really? Maybe what some people don't realize here is they sat Matviev Michkov. I'm going to have to learn how to say that guy's name because even though he's got the vowel situation that I struggle with, as you guys, it's well documented. He is definitely I would say now the crown jewel. He's the Evgeny Malkin of the Pittsburgh Penguins before they went on that run with Sidney Crosby. They just need a Sidney Crosby piece to fucking stick in there, and they're struggling with it. Now, they had a bag of shit in Coutier, who really is a low-life piece of shit character, wouldn't even return phone calls. When the goaltending issues happened with Carter Hart, he just dropped off the face of the earth and said he wanted out. So they traded his ass. Well, who'd they get him replaced? Jamie Drysdale, defenseman, big, solid defender on the blue line, young up-and-coming buck. But he's been struggling, and he's out tonight. Morgan Frost has been struggling, and he's out tonight. Now, Eric Johnson comes in. Ryan Pulling comes in. BFD. Bottom line to me, yeah, you increase your defense. They need to. They need to bring in some defenders because they're struggling across the board. Goaltending, you look at Ersson, 2.69 goals against average, 90.2% save percentage in 10 games on the season. Plenty of sample. Overreaction. Players are getting upset. This is the point. This is pay attention. This is the turning point where things are going to start to go south for Tortorella. Now, I like Tortorella. I like that he's an asshole. He's my kind of asshole too. He'll mind fuck you right in front of the media. He don't care. He's going to send a message to you through the media. He's going to embarrass you. And it's the kind of things that these young guys need to kind of get their shit together and kind of recalibrate their head check that now you're in the NHL. But they're not happy. They're not happy with the Michkov factor. They're sitting Michkov when he's been performing, and they're playing these other guys that aren't performing 1 point in 14 games, and they're still playing, but you're sitting Michkov? It's not where I'm going to be. I'm going to be right here. I'm going to be squarely placed on this spot. It ain't square, that's for sure. And I just think it makes too much sense right now. There's just discord. There's trouble in paradise with this Philadelphia Flyers organization, and that price tag's too pretty to leave alone. So I'm taking that San Jose Sharks plus 230. I know. Second leg with bag. I got it. You can send me all this. I don't care. Because I see certain things inside of these programs and these teams, and yeah, you see them behind me. But I'm also the number one hater. So number one fan and number one hater. But I love to fade these guys and make money where I think it's the right spot. And I think that there is some trouble in paradise at plus 230. Good old price tag to get that cash for us here. Give me the Sharks to open things up. We'll keep her moving. We'll move on to this Dallas Stars Pittsburgh Penguins game. Interesting spot here. At first glance, I wanted to take shout out to Redbeard and Grandma Horse Racing. I see you guys both in there. Gifting memberships. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate you, Grandma. Appreciate you, Redbeard. Grandma says, let's grow this team. Well said, Grandma. I love it. I love the community that we're building in here. Spending the time with you guys on the regular, getting to know each other really well. And it's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun for me to hear Ramon give a shout out to Jover today. It's a lot of fun. I love what we got going on, man. It's so much fun. And you guys make it fun. So you guys keep coming back, sharing positive vibes, big feedback, constantly giving us winners. And that makes it fun. So I appreciate you, Grandma. Appreciate you, Redbeard. Thank you guys for rocking with us. And let's go. Let's use that to launch in and bless our action. As I looked at this card in this game particularly, I initially thought to myself, it's got to be an under. It's got to be an under. We got Jake Ottinger going in goal, confirmed for the Dallas Stars. The number one guy in the pipes. It's got to be an under. 6-3. .295 goals against average, 91% save percentage for Ottinger. But then I look on the other side and I see Bloomquist, 3.25 goals against average, and 91.3% save percentage. And what's the problem? Well, the problem is you got a motivated Dallas Stars team. They've been struggling to figure shit out. And right now they're 8-5 on the season, but sporting a 3-game losing streak. So Ottinger's got that .295 goals against average, a 91% save percentage. They're going back to Ottinger again. It'll be his third time out there. And even though they're 1-3 in their last 4, it just comes down to not getting enough pucks in net. They're getting outscored 15-10. Clearly, you're not going to win in those situations, but it's not like it's egregious. It's not like it's 12-2. I mean, they're getting pucks in there. They just haven't gone into the likes of guys like Rupi Hintz. Fuck is he? Get the milk carton out for this guy. Hiskinen's been a great component there when it comes to kind of firing the puck and kind of leading as the on-ice general that comes into there. And you got this aging team in the Pittsburgh Penguins. But, you look at Ottinger. We talk about the first part of the season, the second part of the season. Pull the 2 over. Dude was on fire his first 4 games of the season. He's just kind of fallen into some bullshit recently here. And the team's not scoring enough to help battle this guy back. He's allowed 3 or more goals in 3 of his last 5 games out there for an 86.3% save percentage. Now, I do expect him to rally. And I think this is a great spot to do that rally. Why? Because Washington and Pittsburgh just played each other. Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin, they love battling against each other. Those were the 2 rocks of the NHL for the last maybe 10, 12, 15 years out there. Challenges, the Penguins have been finding a way to score despite that old lineup. They lead the NHL in expected goals per average right now. This is a team that's outperforming. You got a guy in Ottinger who's been underperforming. And at some point, you got to expect things are going to flip back to where they need to be. I think coming off of this win, if you will, this win that the Penguins had against this Washington Capitals team, now with a Dallas team, this is a perfect motivation spot. Sell high on Pittsburgh. We're buying low on Dallas. And surprisingly enough, they're still a huge favorite. So this came down to question, how do you want to attack it? I want to take the better goaltender against the weaker goaltender. I want to take the team I'm buying low and I'm trying to sell high. I'm going to go with this regulation play. I think Dallas busts up Pittsburgh in regulation. I think it's even money play, which means it's a great opportunity for us to get some cash at low risk, high return on a team that's priced at minus 160 right now on the money line is that Dallas Stars team. So take a little regulation play there. We'll keep it rolling. Kelly V says trends under series Dallas and Pence. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Joe T. 108 watching, only 28 votes in the chat. Let us know who you like in this game. Another pull up for the Stars and Penguins. I have to pull up the YouTube page to see those. So I love it. Philly Eagle Flyer says around here, Mishkov. Yeah, Mishkov. That's how I think I've heard it too. Floating between the UFC and the NHL, and no excuses. I just struggle when there's more than 3 vowels in the name. And probably will for the longest time. But I got to get that one right, Philly Eagle Flyer. I mean, that guy is going to be the horse moving forward here. So I'm going to give you guys one last play. I got one last play for you guys here. Give me Carolina. Give me the Hurricanes. I don't have a write-up for it here. Or I don't have a screen for it here. But I'll give you guys this Carolina spot. And again, it's just an opportunity where we've got kind of 2 teams coming in different directions. I talked about it at the onset of the show. And, the struggle that was this Carolina team kind of getting knocked in the face against that Colorado Avalanche, Carolina-Colorado the other day. And they go to, Kochetkov. Kochetkov is in goal out there for this Carolina Hurricanes team. This dude's been amazing at 7-1. He's got a 2.51 goals against average and 89.6% save percentage. And they've needed him. Talk about, we talk about the East Coast capital of the unders for the hockey rink or for the NHL being in Carolina. But look, Frederick Anderson, I don't know what's going on with this guy. They brought him in. He had some injuries. He's been dealing with, just last season particularly, almost missed, a third of the season, maybe more, because of, I believe it was blood clotting issues. And he's still kind of been, few and far between when he goes out there. But, and this guy in Kochetkov, hey, you need somebody to fill in? You got an injured Frederick Anderson again. Probably going to look to see Hurricanes become a trade target for some type of goaltending, because they can't just keep going to this young 25-year-old. But he has been solid the way he started, and he's coming in off a rest. He had to watch Spencer Martin take the loss 6-4 to the Colorado Avalanche. They were, prior to that, though, on an 8-game winning streak. 8-game winning streak. Flip side, we got Aiden Hill, 6-2-1 record, 3.13 goals against average, 88.1% save percentage. They're going to this guy for a fourth straight time. Those components are more important than almost anything to me when it comes to hockey. Why? Well, they're dealing with injuries. You're going to overuse your backup guy in Aiden Hill. And now on top of that, by the way, you're a team in Vegas that's shooting lower than anybody in the NHL. Motivation, revenge, better goaltender. You want to talk about injuries? Half the fucking Golden Knights team is hurt. Ilya Samsonov, day-to-day. Nicholas Hague, out. Victor Olofsson, out. He was a big component they picked up from the Buffalo Sabres with the Jack Eichel situation. Lucas Cormier, out. Jacob DeMick, out. Jordan Gustafsson, out. A lot of injuries. The only real injury of note for the Hurricanes, other than Frederick Anderson, and let's be honest, you didn't have him last year. You really don't. Do you need him this year? You're going to need somebody, but is it a big deal that he's out? No, but Jesper Fast is a guy that's definitely an issue. Definitely a concern, because he is a second-line guy. He goes out there, he strikes, he gets a lot of playing time. Going to be of concern, but I'm going to add that Carolina Hurricanes. Let's see what number we can get the Hurricanes at here for you guys. 136, 140, 142s. I know there's a 136 at Bet Rivers, but we'll just call it Carolina. I see a minus 142 at. I don't believe Caesars is minus 140. We've talked about how slow their API feed is. FanDuel and DraftKings at minus 142. Bet Rivers does have 136, but 145 for BetMGM. We'll just call it minus 142. I don't care. It's the old I don't give a shit. Slide me up. Let's take this one here. We got some hockey action in play. Just going to try to find those motivation spots, and I think we got it. Onward, upward. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. I got to record that so I can just push it. Well, I do have a button. I guess I do have a button. All right, let's go to the NBA. Let's talk some NBA. Let's talk some college football, college basketball, and we'll get the NFL, and we'll get up out of here. Pick up the pace a little for you guys. I know. I want to hear me just barking around here like a dog, or maybe you do. I like all these games start at 8 p.m. So for what it's worth, I know Ramon mentioned that today. And then I looked at the schedule and I was like, that's weird. Everybody's popping off at the same time. Clippers and Thunder will be the game that we talk about here. I got two for you guys in the NBA. And we'll start here. 53% of the bets and 59% of the cash on the Clippers. The line has dropped. Now, here's the thing. We talked about, Chet Holmgren. Tiny little frail man. He might be 7 feet tall, but he weighs about 85 pounds soaking wet. And he busted his hip. I think it was like a hip. It wasn't a labrum issue, but he's fucked is what it comes down to. I think it's the pelvic bone that connects the ball joint in there that got busted up. I think that's what happened. So he's going to be out. He's going to be out for a minute. And that's where I think the line skew came into play here. We got a total that went from 217.5 to 218.5. And we have 92% of the bets and 92% of the cash on the over. What do we know about a couple of these teams? First of all, we know James Harden's good for a double-double tonight. He's got 8 in his last 11. We also know that when Chet comes out, the pace slows down. We know the Clippers like to run a slower paced game. Kind of leading to this little perfect storm here. This confluence of opportunities where the books don't entirely know what number to put on this thing. And then, oh, by the way, the Clippers, well, you see that they're 6-4 on the season. They're 3-0 on the road. They can't win in that pretty new stadium they have, but they got no problem winning on the road. And I think that's what we see here tonight. I'll give you guys a couple numbers for it here. We'll pop this on the screen. This is a single play. by all means, split them out. For me, trying to manage where the unit gets, I don't want to say that, but here's what I will say. First of all, I talked about the slow pace with the under. The under's taken some drop, though. It kind of peaked out at 219.5 and starting to come back down. You can still find some 219.5s out there, but again, it's on the down pick here. And this just comes down to the fact that, yeah, you got the Clippers on a 4-game win streak. They haven't lost on the road. You got this pace should slow way down. These two teams play defense. Combined, they're averaging 209 points per game. So we're catching an extra 10 spot on top of that. I remember when I look for some of these capping opportunities, I look for the double digits. If I can get it, they're not always there. That's why it's always tough when some guys will ask me about a last game on the card and they're like, who do you like? Well, look, I like this side, but the margin might only be 2 points. This has got a good 10 spot in our corner. And then talk about margins. Let's look at the Clippers side of things here. Conference dogs lost the previous 2 meetings, are 37-8-2 against the spread. If they won more than 33 games last year. So what does that tell us? That tells us that we've got a team that kind of fell on some hard times here, took a couple losses in a row. Then we know they're not terrible. They're not a dead last team in the NBA because they won more than 33 games the previous year. And then we slap that together and, it's a revenge spot for them. It's a revenge spot. They should go out there, take advantage. Why not take revenge on a team that you lost to the last 2 times without their best guy in the lineup? Yeah, we'll go Clippers. We're popping these two together, though. Plus 6.5, the under 218.5. It's a plus 286 price tag out there. Let's go. Gene says we own a lot of the same sites. I love hearing that. At least I'm not on an island. At least I'm not on an island, Gene. I don't mind being on the island in the UFC. You guys have seen how that works out. But, geez, I don't want to be the only guy sitting there holding the cash when it's all said and done. So I like it. I like it. JW does like Williams rebounds over. And Tarek B likes the same. Yeah, I mean, look, maybe I'm a little greedy. Maybe I'm a little greedy trying to take a shot at this thing with the big button. But speaking of buttons, Ramon says, more buttons, please, Mikey. All right, we're working on them. We're working on them. We get it, right? All right. I'm parlaying those two together. You guys know the deal. I'd love to try to find those plus money spots where it makes sense. I think we do have a little bit of an intersecting opportunity where it's right place, right time, unknown uncertainty with Vegas on the sports books, and we're going to take advantage here. Let's go to this Houston game, and then we will talk some college basketball, talk some Monday Night Football. Maybe you guys are just here for the 2-team parlay because we have been striping. Who knew? Who knew that was going to become a thing? I sound ridiculous even saying it, but we got the Wizards and the Rockets. We got 54% of the bets and 55% of the cash on the Rockets, the home team, the Wizards, yet we have reverse line movement. We lost 1.5 from the 13s down to 12s. There's still some 12.5s out there. Then we have a total that's on the uptick, 227.5 where it started. 83% of the bets and 83% of the cash are on the over. It's gone up to 229s, 230s. There's even 230.5s out there. You want to back this Washington team? I don't think I can. I don't think I can get there. Recent performances kind of jumped off the page at me as well. I mean, it's hard to say recent performances jump off the page because the Wizards are bad. They win when I should say they lose. They're now on their 3rd game in a row on the road. They had a tough run against Memphis, 128-104. They had a tough game on the road against Orlando, 121-94. Look at this total. They go over. Then Vegas readjust it, and they go under. Then Vegas readjust it, they go over. Then Vegas readjust it, they go under. Look at this Houston team. 3-1 in their last 4. Do I want to lay this big number against the Wizards at home? I almost do. I almost think they can just beat the shit out of them. Maybe the first half's the best way to go if you're looking from a side perspective because, sometimes you play these bad teams and you just get tired of beating them up. You move on. And it's evidenced by playing a team like the Pistons. They're on the road. They win 101-99 and a lay in a 4 spot on the road. They get tired of beating them up. and then that closes the gap on the back door. So I would think the first half's the spot. But here's another team. They go over the total, then they go under the total. And they go over the total, and they go under the total. And Vegas doesn't know what price tag to put on these teams. But here's what I'll tell you. Probably one of the best spots in the NBA. If you're coming off a road win, you're a home favorite, you're not against your conference, and neither team has rest, 213 to 163. You just won on the road. You're now back home as the favorite. Not conference means you're not used to seeing these teams that frequently. And so you're not familiar with their schemes, their styles. You're just trying to go out there. Because you have no rest, you're just trying to go out there, get through the game, and that means no defense. You're just shooting three-pointers from across the yard, the parking lot, the fucking peanut vendor, and everything else. And it's 213 to 163 to the over. We'll take a little 229 action on this card here. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Not just over, under, though, right? I mean, this just comes down to they don't know what number to put on these teams, and they readjust the following game. And there's also inconsistency. With the early season comes inconsistency and lack of experience, and, that's what we see. That's the way we see the cookie crumble, as they say. I always think about that movie. What was the movie? Liar, Liar with Jim Carrey. Isn't that the one? And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Bear with me for 1 second here as I crumble this cookie. Okay, that's in there. How do you get that in there? Excuse me. Let's talk about this next game in college basketball. The only spot that I have for college basketball tonight with you guys. It's going to be this DePaul and Mercer game. We talked about DePaul. Try to get an early bead on some of these teams in college basketball because, we obviously don't have a ton to go off. What do we know about DePaul? Well, last year, fucking mutiny. Nobody wanted to play there. They fire the coach. They bring a bunch of new pieces in offensively. They bring in a new coach. We capitalized on that first game. Can't say we didn't know what was going on. They almost caught that outright win. It was like, what, plus 950? I got no cash flow information. None. Zero. Zilch. But I know the game went at 6.5. Now we're seeing 8s out there. So that's telling me Vegas is bumping this line up. I say Vegas. You guys know the deal. I know it's not just Vegas anymore, but bear with me. I've been gambling a long time. 142.5 has moved to 157.5 on the over. And we see the Mercer Bears popping off the season at 1-0. First road game for this Mercer Bears team. DePaul took some time to figure it out against Southern Indiana. That's the game I mentioned there that we almost caught that outright winner. They were laying 15. They won in overtime. What did DePaul do when they brought in perimeter players? They brought in guys that can shoot. They brought in guys that like to shoot. Can't win games if you can't shoot the ball. And what they do against Prairie View? They shot the lights out of the gym. Now going to be on their third straight home game. They were laying 17. They won the damn thing by almost 40. They doubled up on their spread. A little bit of early reaction in saying there might be too many mouths to feed, not being able to figure it out. I think they have figured it out. And I think this is a great opportunity to take a home team in DePaul. Kind of an interesting spot tonight, given that it's a 9 p.m. FS2 game. I bet you these boys get up for this one. I think that they've got the coaching staff, the players in check for this one. I was looking at some trends. I was looking at some splits early. And the things that I was seeing, I liked. I think it's a great opportunity for us on this flip side of things with this Mercer Bears team. I mean, look, they're on a big road trip now. So this is their first game. They're going to have Southern Alabama. They're going to have South Carolina. And they won't be back home again until after Thanksgiving, is what I looked at. Are they a 1-0 team? I mean, they won. It was home. We'll give it to them. We'll call that a win. That they earned it. But I think that you're going out on the road for the first time. You got a team that's fired up with a whole new look, a whole new chemistry, a whole new culture. And I also was looking at the points. I was thinking that this is another one of those games like the last spot out there where, Mercy tries to play more. I don't want to say a stymie. I think this is going to be a fast-paced game between the two of these teams. I just think this is going to be a DePaul's feeling good. They're going to be shooting the ball from everywhere. They're at home, so they've got their sight lines down. And this is a difficult spot for a Mercer team. And we're laying less than a 10-pack. It's good enough for me to jump in and take some DePaul action based on the early look at these two teams. We don't have much more than that, other than I believe the over. Let me just check something here. I heard, shout out to Ramon. I heard him talking earlier today. He was like, I got to phone out for my trends. I did the same thing, Ramon. I did the same damn thing. Yeah, there's a reason I liked you, Ramon. Let me see. That's not true. There's a lot of reasons why I like Ramon. Yeah, the over was the other one that I was looking at. A big spot for the over. Just nothing I wanted to get to the window on. I just think DePaul's going to bust these dudes up. And I think that, there's a lot that goes into a college program going on the road for the first time, playing against a completely new look opponent that's really rebranded their culture in 2 games. So shout out to DePaul. We'll see what they can do, but I don't think 8's enough. 8.5s or 9s, that wouldn't slow me down either. Let's get to the big game. Let's go to it. JPZ says he cashed on DePaul. Well, I played Prairie View. But because I played Prairie View, I watched that game. Bruce Almighty is the movie. Oh. I knew it was something. Oh, by the way, shout out to, what's her name in Bruce Almighty? That probably sounds bad too, but she was one of my favorites growing up. Anyways, let's get to this Monday Night Football game. Get you guys out of here. Moving in the proper direction for a big. Justin McKelvey says adding the over 1. I like that. I'm not against it. I just wanted to slim down my NBA or my college basketball action. I'll tell you another one that I like. I'm a Chattanooga Mocs fan. Mock, you guys know the deal. Mock, yeah. I kind of lean to Austin P. And the funny thing is, again, no cash flow information. The whole action dashboard's down for splits when it comes to college basketball. But the funny thing about that spot is earlier today, there was money coming in on Chattanooga, but the bigger money was coming in on Austin P. And you got a 2-0 Austin P team, an 0-2 Chattanooga team. I had a system play that was showing this one here. I give you a strong lean to that one. I'm not gonna count that as an official play here. I just lean. Look, big win against Butler. 68-66. Huge W for them. Now, the only thing that the reason that it wasn't official for me is because Chattanooga's been on the road. They've been certainly a step up in competition. Big St. Mary's game there. They got busted up, but they covered the spread. USC, they got busted up. They didn't cover the spread. They've just had, this is probably a step back in competition. This is back to class for this Chattanooga spot. Whereas Austin P, yeah, they got that Butler win. But that's kind of like, do you want to take a team that just came off of probably the biggest win in the program's history against a team that's now stepping back in class? I couldn't get there at the end of the day. It was just a quick spot that I looked at when it came down to it. But if you gave me the proverbial free roll, I would take the over in Oklahoma. I know that's not the game I just talked about, but now you've got a couple extra spots if you're interested in some college basketball action. I'm interested in the NFL. I'm going to pop this thing together, and we're going to have this little same game parlay tonight. Bang, fresh off. I'll tell you I told you at the start of the show, the models have been tweaked. We're at that point now. It should be halfway point of the season that we're ready to roll. Miami Dolphins, LA Rams going on out there. 43% of the bets, but 72% of the cash like the Dolphins. I believe the Dogs went 13-1 yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, in the NFL. It was a big dog day. Maybe the bookies caught their revenge. Maybe they caught their revenge because I know the Kansas Cities, the Minnesotas, who else is if you're even on, I don't know why you'd be on the Giants. You lost if you were on the Giants. If you took the Bears, I don't know why you would have. The Patriots busted them up. Had the Patriots money line in that one, plus 245. The Vikings failed to cover against the Jags. The Commanders, somehow as a small home favorite, take that L. Pay attention to the 2-pointers. The Chiefs lose that game against the Broncos and covering the spread. I thought they were going to lose that game outright. We did cash our parlay on that. And it goes on and on. The 49ers-Buccaneers game, the Chargers came out there and confidently handled business. The Jets took another fucking loss. Screw you, Aaron Rodgers. Fuck off forever. And then look at last night, the Lions and the Texans. So dogs have been barking. Shout out to Chris L. Says every sports team in the state of Florida lost this weekend. I love that track. That shit has nothing to do with each other. Come on. Although, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, we took that all New York parlay. So maybe. Wasn't that the one we had the Yankees, the Mets, and the Bills? Because they were the only team. It was the Bills versus the Jets. That's right. That's what it was. Shout out to you, Damon Waring, my dude. Says, salute to one of the best shows on the internet. Let's get this right. Appreciate that, dude. Thank you so much. Joe T wants to get to the best game of the night. What do you want to see? You want to see my plays? All right, let's talk about it. So I got a 3-pack for you guys. And then I'm going to put together a same game parlay because, yeah. So if you've been paying attention, and I talk about these tools and technology that we utilize here to try to make informed betting decisions. Why? I'm very much a metrics-driven guy. I've been my entire life. And it's important to have metrics when you're building models, dashboards, formulas, because you can't tweak the emotional stuff. You're either right or you're wrong. But you can tweak the weighting in certain parameters to affect the outcomes in a more positive way. It's just like, what do they say? You're trying to, you turn the grill up a little bit, the shit cooks a little faster. Turn it down a little bit, it takes a little longer. That's essentially what we're trying to do, is figure out where that medium point is to get the steak cooked the right way. And so there's no surprise that the it's a little surprise that the 2 touchdown props have been doing what they're doing. But it's models. It's weighting. It's using data. It's using technology as our friends. And I've said this before. The book's got the technology out there. So you better utilize it. And I don't believe in this, or I don't believe in, don't be one of those guys. Back in the day, they used to do like heart procedures, cardiologists with their hands. Now they're using laser guided robotic optics. They're using technology. You want it. Technology is your friend. And that's what we're going to try to do here as we move forward. I talk about 57% of the bets are on the Rams. 72% of the cash are on the Dolphins. Big money coming in on the road dog. The line hasn't moved. 47.5 is the total. It's moved up to 49.5. 2-6 Dolphins, 4-4 Los Angeles Rams. Look, I got the Rams money line out there. It's a little juicy, but it's okay for me. It's okay for me being in the juice box there. This team's coming off 3 straight wins. 20-15 against Vegas, 30-20 against Minnesota, 26-20. They snuck on the road against a divisional opponent in Seattle. Now they're coming back home. This will be their 4th home game in their last 5. Flip side. Almost the exact opposite. Miami Dolphins are on their 4th road game in their last 5, and they're on a 1-4 losing streak in their last 5. They also just came off a huge game against the Bills. They covered the spread 30-27. I think I told a bunch of people that was a bad Bill spot. They lost to Arizona 28-27. Those games are important because that's kind of their class, right? 1-0 Dallas Stars, by the way. 1-0 Dallas Stars, if you tailed me on that one. We'll see what happens. It's early. Anyways, those are their class matchups. Meaning, Josh Allen and Kyler Murray are same kind of age and pedigree, if you will, of the NFL. And you look at this Rams team. Now, what do they got going on in their advantage? Well, Puka Nakua's back. They haven't needed Tutu Atwell for shit. Kyren Williams, guy's out there, 602 rushing yards. Now, if you look at all the metrics, all the projections, they all say this is a game that's going to be dominated by the run. It's projecting that you're not going to see Matt Stafford throwing the ball over the yard. And that scares me if I'm a Miami Dolphins backer, because I talked about how Miami's offense has become a passing first offense when Tua's out there, shaking a leg. Certainly a concern spot. I'll tell you this. I can't find the number offhand. You're going to have to just believe me on it. Let me see if I can find it. Where did it go? you know what we like to start with? We like to start with the ref report. And the ref report loves the home teams. Loves them. Absolutely wants to marry him. That's how much he loves him. Then we're looking at Tua Tagovailoa spot. And when Tua throws the ball well, 25 of 28 completions his last game, what's he do the next game? Well, teams in general that come off of 84.3% or better passing have lost that following game. They're 1-8 straight up. They're 0-9 against the spread. I'm going to add a little extra weighting to that measure because it was a home game or because it was a divisional game. So you played so damn well against your division, you still came up short, and now you're going back on the road. Miami Dolphins, night games, 0-6 straight up, 0-6 against the spread. Oh, here's what it was. It was Ron Torbert. Good old Uncle Ron. He's 8-0 as a favorite, 5-0 straight up at home, loves the home teams, loves the favorites, and you're in a spot where you're going to see Vegas trying to get their money back after giving up all those dogs. Actually, I bet you Vegas probably cleaned up this weekend with all those dogs, especially because the favorites were cooking so much prior to that out there. I thought there was too much of an advantage for the Rams in this game. It's a small number. I think it's a bounce back spot for, frankly, for the betting public in this case here. The under to me made a lot of sense. The Rams, when the total's over 47 at home, are a perfect 9-0 to the under in this game. Then overall, you look at it, the teaser made a lot of sense. The Rams haven't gone over 41 points all season. They've only gone over 46 twice. And of course, we know it's hard to accurately evaluate the Miami Dolphins because they've had such ups and downs in their season when it comes down to it. 10-3 were the underdogs this week. I'm sorry I messed that up. 10-3 against the spread. But when you look at kind of some of the numbers and the metrics behind them, I can't really get much into that. Here's what I can tell you. How about this one? When you got a 50% win streak or a 50% record, the Rams. 3-game streak. They've won 3 in a row. Less than 11 days rest and home favorites. 14-4 across the NFL against the spread. The margin's over a touchdown. Checks all the boxes. The under also rolls in at a 6-12. 12-6 to the under. That's such a big, beefy margin. I think it was like 4.2 points in that spot out there. Big trend out. How about this one? Here's one for you guys. We just talked about this, kind of correlates to the travel, right? So think about that. I just talked about the Miami Dolphins being on their 4th road game in 5 games. If you're Monday night in the Pacific time zone, the home team is 35-17 against the spread. It's also 33-22 to the under. Travel makes a difference. I think it's going to impact this Miami Dolphins team. And I just still don't have full confidence in Tua. I mean, this guy's like one hit away from literally being out of there. I got a big 3-37 trend to the under as well. I'll spare you guys reading that one off. But I went to the Puka Nacua, Jalen Waddle touchdown combination for plus 486. They're obviously juiced. If you want to sit in there and you want to play Kyren Williams, A-Chain was another guy that's questionable. I know he's questionable because he's on my fantasy team. I wouldn't play Tyreek Hill. He's not getting my money. He's another guy that's one hit away from being out of this game. And it's just an abundance of caution that you take him out of the game if he gets one bad hit. And then Cooper Kupp. But if we pivot down the roster just a little bit more, we see Puka Nacua. That dude's been a stud. He's been catching the ball like crazy. He's ready to go. And I also like to get myself a little Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle, if he hasn't surpassed Tyreek Hill in terms of total receptions, and he's there in targets, but the pecking order for the Miami Dolphins went Tyreek Hill, who's done shit. He's done nothing. He's been irrelevant. Jalen Waddle, who got hurt. He got banged up, and then he dropped back a little. And then who did they go to? They went to Jonnu Smith. So that's the pecking order of this 3 program here, this 3 offensive guns. In a spot where I think that we're going to see runs, I expect that, the offense expects this game to be running. I like the lower scoring spot, but I do think that there's the occasional opportunity for that explosive big play. So I got the Rams money line. I got the Rams plus 3.5 in the under 54.5. And I got the Puka Waddle touchdown at plus 486. That's how we're doing it. Hour 20 minutes. Appreciate you guys rocking with us tonight. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get to work on a same game parlay. I'll post it in the community tab here, and hopefully we can roll right on back through to the other side and catch another 42-1. Appreciate you guys so much for hanging out, man. This means a ton. We're continuing to grow. We got more things happening on the regular for you guys. We're trying to bring in more programming. You guys hear that all the time, and we mean it. We're trying to bring you guys different avenues to get more winners. We've had a tremendous couple of days. Let's keep her rolling tonight for you guys. I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are as well. We got a bright future here with the crew at Sports Money. It's going to be a fun week. And make sure you do check out the polls on the community tab. We're going to put a couple things out there to get feedback. If you guys are interested in trying to do a little live stream for the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson thing, let us know. Let us figure it out together. We want to bring you guys content that's meaningful to you. Shout out to my guy, Old E gifting 5 Sports Money membership. Shout out to Grandma Horse Racing gifting a Sports Money membership. And shout out to Redbeard gifting a Sports Money membership. Appreciate you guys all. Good luck with your action. Make sure you hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so already on your way out the door. Good luck with your bets tonight. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Morning Steam pops off at 9 a.m. with Ramon Scott. Then you know we got the pregaming at 6 p.m. Eastern. Till then, appreciate everybody. Have yourselves a great night. Good luck with your bets.